Hey y'all, hey, and welcome to another session of Meditations with Marnie. So we're going to be running today because I got multiple things to do and I have several places to go, and I was like, I still need to connect with them today. But I woke up this morning with this little song on my heart, and I just thought I would make today kind of fun, spiritual, but also very natural. And there's an old song and it says, have a little talk with Jesus, tell him all about our troubles, hear our faintest cry, he will answer by and by. Have a little prayer, we're turning, know a little fire's burning, have a little talk with Jesus makes it right. So that song was in my spirit. I just thought I would share it with you guys. Sometimes we just need to have a little talk with Jesus, and it makes everything that's going on in our life a little bit better. But today, I have multiple things going on, and I'm praying that some things take a shift. Like today is a day that I need something great to happen this morning. So I have an appointment in about 30 minutes, and I got here a little bit early because I wanted to do a video with you guys. And I really want to talk about something. And I think I'm going to start making some of my videos more of a series, maybe like part 1, part 2, part 3, or maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, something of that sort. So they won't be as long, but they will be a little bit more impactful. And I was thinking about, as we talk about dating, marriage, things of that sort, and even just looking back at our resources and what caused us to go through the divorces that many people on my channel have gone through. And one of the things that I thought about is low-hanging fruit. Oftentimes we want to take what we call low-hanging fruit and we want to make it into a fruit that we pick from the tree. That's good. Like, even when God was giving it to me, I was like, Lord, that's good. Low-hanging fruit. We want to take someone who does not have the qualities of being a husband or does not have the qualities of being a wife, and we want to make them into what we want them to be. I have a video that I'm going to do about something to show you the difference between how something can be useful when you are in a relationship, using it from a construction standpoint, and how it has to be flexible. So I looked up, because my brain just works that way, y'all. I looked up fruit, like how does fruit grow on the tree? What pushes the fruit to the tree? And it says fruit isn't physically pushed to the top of the tree, because what I asked is, how is fruit pushed to the top of the tree? Instead, fruit develops at various points on the tree, including laterally, along branches, and at the tips of twigs. The placement of fruit is determined when new growth occurs. Get that now. The placement of the fruit determines when new growth occurs. It says, including the development of fruit spurs that bears fruit. The tree's resources and conditions influence where fruit develops. And in some cases, trees may even drop fruit. When it said that, drop the fruit if they cannot support it. It said it drops it if it can't support all of it. Sometimes we are positioning people, when we think about fruit on a tree, and what made me think about it is I was thinking about myself. You know, as I'm talking to you guys, I'm talking to myself. I am encouraging myself. I am growing myself. I am holding myself accountable. I'm looking at myself. And in me looking at myself, I said, well, you know, Marnie, whoever the brother is, he gonna have to climb up in the tree to get this. He gonna need a ladder. He gonna have to call, what's that little boy, Jack in the Beanstalk? He gonna have to call them to climb up in the tree to get it. And what it made me start thinking about is, what pushes the fruit to the top of the tree? Like, because I'm a flower person, y'all know I garden, so I'm really in tune with like fertilizers and, you know, grass seeds and the germination of things and how weeds grow. And I'm also in tune with like what produces the flowers. People ask me all the time, like, how do you get your flowers to grow, and what do you make, how do you do that to get them so big? And I prune a lot. Most people don't want to prune. They don't want to cut back. I cut back so that the nutrients that are coming up out of the ground into that flower will push that nutrients to the top of that tree or to the top of that plant. And in doing so, what it does is it pushes the nutrients that normally would be spread out amongst multiple into one direction. Sometimes the reason that we can't get to where we need to be is because we're trying to deal with multiple people. We're trying to deal with multiple excuses. We're trying to deal with people that don't want to be where we want them to be. And so I'm preaching to myself. Like, I want y'all to know I ain't talking just to y'all. I'm just sharing what I'm preaching to myself. Sometimes we meet people and then we want to pull them over into the presence of the Lord. We meet people and we want to pull them over into a husband's position. We meet people and we want to pull them over into a wife's position. They did not have the nutrients. It said that, including the development, fruit spurs, which specialize in the branch, the bear fruit, the tree's resources. What tree did they come from? See, the fruit, they always say the fruit don't fall far from the tree. But what tree did the fruit come from? Did it come from a tree that normally produces? Did it come from a tree that has been damaged? Sometimes lightning strikes a tree and the tree is just dead. It might still have some branches on it. I'm sitting under a tree right now. It might still have some blooms that come up because somewhere in that root structure, there is still some level of life, but that tree is no longer producing like it once did. And if you take a piece of fruit from a tree that does not produce, then you can't get mad when you get it home and it go rotten. I'm big on fruit. I like to buy fruit. But one thing that I've learned, especially fresh fruit, it will go bad on you quick. And so I don't really like to go to the grocery store. I'm not one of those people that like to go to the store all the time. And so I try to buy it in bulk. But I've learned that raspberries and the things that I like, raspberries, blueberries, what's the other berry? Red and blackberries, they're not gonna last long. I don't really like bananas when they start getting them little spots on them. So I buy my bananas when they're still partially green. They got a little bit of green to them because I'm not gonna keep them but a couple of days, because once they start turning sweet, I don't really like them when they're sweet. I like them when they're just turning over. And if they too soft, that definitely ain't gonna get it for me. So you gotta know what type of fruit that you're dealing with. When we look at the lifestyles of people, oftentimes we either want the low-hanging fruit because there's no work with that. If you walk up to a tree and you can just pick the item right off the tree, you didn't put no work into that. But if you gotta get a ladder and you got to climb up in that tree, and you got to make sure that you get one, and you got to make sure that it's ripe, it's ready, because the fruit has to be at the right picking point. When they pick fruit, they don't just walk up to the tree and just pick. They walk up to the tree and they pick the fruits that are ready for harvesting. That's good. Ready for harvesting. Sometimes we meet people in their place where they're not ready. And sometimes you have to just let them stay in that place in order for you not to then be either disrupted or interrupted by what they have going on in their life. You have to either let them grow up to where you are, or you have to leave them there and you keep going. So I don't know, this just kind of came up in my spirit, and I think I'll come back because I really wanted to touch on the low-hanging fruit today, because low-hanging fruit is not going to be no work. Like, I had a guy, he said, I really like you, but he didn't want to do the work. And he said, this going to be a lot of work right here. No, it's not going to be a lot of work. But I don't want a relationship with anybody that's not willing to put in the same amount of time and effort and the conditioning that it's going to take. Marriage is not easy. It is not easy having two people to come together, especially at our age bracket. And, the Lord always sends you exactly what you need. This morning when I woke up, I was looking to do some things and thinking about you guys and thinking about what I have coming forth on June 1st and putting some plans in place, and I was jotting down some notes. And this video came up of this couple. He was 60 and she was 61. And they were talking about when they got together. It was on that channel Black Love. It came up on their video channel, and they were talking about, you know, just the readiness of life. Like, they both had kind of given up on that thought process. They didn't really think they would meet anybody, and just the way that their story unfolded, it was just really beautiful to hear. And it was encouraging for me. It was encouraging because sometimes walking in the place that I'm in, it is very difficult, because there ain't gonna be a whole lot of people that's gonna climb up in the tree. And unfortunately, that's where they're going to have to come in order to find me, because I'm not hanging low and I'm not on the ground. And so, and that's not as a point of arrogance. That is a point of confidence that I know that what I am willing to put into that relationship, one, spiritually, and two, physically, you know, I plan to give to my mate everything that I am expecting. And that will be a conversation that will take place long before we ever even get to the I do. Like that, at this age and stage, it's a business transaction. And when I say a business transaction, yes, love is a component of it. But there is no more. I didn't know to sit down and have some of the conversations that I know to have now. And I know to have them early. So I say to you that if you in the dating realm, and you know, y'all, the dating sites, I know a couple of people that told me that I should get on them. I say no. Just say no. Y'all remember when we were young and they had the little drug, just say no to drugs. Just say no to the dating sites. Unless, I will say this, I said that if I ever joined one again, I was going to join at the paying, at some type of premium pay. And I say that because I feel that people who are paying for those services are going to be a little bit more serious about dating with intentions versus those that are just joining them for the fun of skipping around from one person to the next. But anyway, I'm going to go back to what I came out here to talk to y'all about. Low-hanging fruit. If you are choosing low-hanging fruit, then you're going to get the result of that. You're going to have to choose and choose what's in your category. Because if you're in a category, and I want to make sure that I'm clear, I'm not saying this in a negative way. If you're in a category where you're only willing to do so much work, choose somebody else that meets you at that same place. And then it will work. But it's going to be difficult if someone chooses somebody that's out of their caliber, or that person does not want to come up to that place. Now, if it's somebody that's trying to grow and they want to develop and they want to be in tune with someone, I think that's a whole different story. But because of the sake of this video, I gotta go. I gotta get ready to get in here. And I want you guys to like it. I need for you to share it with a friend, and I need for you to subscribe and jump in the comments. Give me some feedback. I need that so that when I come forth on June 1st, I'm going to be ready to have some content for you guys. Have a great day, y'all. Bye.